Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jakey in the ring, and welcome to my very first wrestling video I've ever made. Now, I've been a content creator here on YouTube for well over 15 years, but I was playing primarily Pokemon and a little bit of Nintendo content. But now it is 2025. I'm really into wrestling more than I ever have been before, and I've been watching it since I was in diapers. We have pictures of me as a baby watching WCW, the Icon Sting, my first favorite ever wrestler, and I've transitioned from WCW to WWE, and now I'm even watching some AEW, and I definitely watch Impact, and I'm just getting invested into all things wrestling. And I want to make a video, so I thought, what better way than to do WrestleMania 41, my very objective prediction. So let's get started with the night one opening match. It's almost been confirmed, maybe it has, but it is Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. The winner is going to be Jey Uso. And there's more thought process of my head of what's going to happen. This is going to lead into the night two main event as well. And I'm going to get into that. You guys might figure out what I'm already thinking and going to say later in the video. But Jey Uso is going to win here. It's going to be similar to Sammy last year. They're going to open WrestleMania with a big moment for a guy that really, really deserves it. Jay's going to win the World Heavyweight Championship. It's going to be a damn good match. And I know it's not going to be as super kek infested as last year's Uso twin match is, but Jay's going to win. Let's move on. Next up, we have Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Now, Rey hasn't lost a WrestleMania match in a few years. I think it was when him and Dom teamed up versus The Miz and Logan Paul at Mania 38, and they lost that one. Rey's won the last 2 years against Dom Mysterio in a singles match and then the tag match with Andrade last year. I think Rey is due for a loss, and it's not. I wish this were Chad Gable over El Grande Americano. I get the story they're trying to portray. I think this is going to be a really, really good match. It's going to be chaos with the Creed brothers and LWO interfering. It's going to be a chaotic match, and I think El Grande is just going to win. And by the way, this is not Chad Gable. Chad Gable should have been on the card, but I don't know where he is. He's probably still in Mexico somewhere. I have no idea. But El Grande Americano is 100% going to win this match. It's going to be pure chaos, and I'm going to be here for it. I'm going to love it. I'm a big fan of what's going on, and I think this will just be a fun little match, but I think the heel needs to win here. Next up, we have Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Now, I was very lukewarm on this feud right away, but over the last 2-3 weeks, the character work with Jade and Naomi, especially Naomi, like her heel turn feels justified. She felt like the third wheel last year at WrestleMania with Jade and Bianca. And it just makes perfect sense. And I would be okay with Naomi winning. However, this is Jade's first singles match at Mania. I really think Jade needs to win this match because I see a huge feud between Jade and Bianca later in the summer for the Women's World Championship. Spoiler, Bianca's going to win later, but we'll get to that. But Jade needs to win this match because I do think we do not know all the information about the Jade attack. I think Naomi is not saying everything. I think Bianca maybe was to do with it, but we'll see. But yeah, Jade's going to win this match, but it should be a good, probably 10-11 minute match, I think. Next up, we have, this should be the SmackDown Tag Team titles and the WWE Tag Team titles, but we have the War Raiders taking on the New Day for the World Tag Team Championships. The War Raiders are great workers. Their gimmick's fun, but they don't resonate with me as well as I would have liked. And I love the New Day. I think they should have won on Raw, but New Day's going to win here. I can't see the War Raiders winning because the New Day losing here kind of is like, well, what was the purpose of them turning heel 4 months ago on Big E? I think that was in December, but the New Day's going to win here. And technically people still like the New Day, so it is a heel winning again, but in the same vein, people love them still, I think. I don't know. It's a mixed bag. I still love the New Day. New Day is going to win. And the War Raiders' reign of like 3 or 4 months is going to come to an end. Or have they had it for like 5 months? Was it November? I don't know. Anyway, let's get on to the next match. The next match we have is LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. Now, before I get on my winner, this can go two ways. Next, I do think Solo and Jacob Fatu are going to feud within the next 2 months or so. Maybe even the next month, maybe even the next couple weeks, depending on the outcome of this match. They just gave the title back to LA Knight about a month and a half ago. I think it was early March. He beat Shinsuke Nakamura for it. And is he going to be a transitional champion here so Jacob Fatu can have it? Or is Jacob Fatu here so Solo can finally just try to destroy him? I don't know. I don't think it would be after the match. I feel like he would cost him during the match. And maybe it would be an accidental cost so they can put the story down just by a couple more weeks. Either way, I think Solo somehow gets involved in the finish, either on purpose or by accident, and I think LA Knight is going to retain the United States Championship. I think it feels too early to take the title off him again after he had just won it. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if Jacob Fatu wins. I love his character. I love his in-ring work. He's great. I would be so for Jacob Fatu winning, but I think LA Knight is going to take the cake. The penultimate match for night one is Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's Championship. Now I'm torn with this because I could see it going either way. I could see the upstart Tiffany Stratton, who's only like 25, 26-year-old, beating the veteran Charlotte Flair to prevent her from getting her, 15th world title it would be? Something like that, I think she's at 14. But I could see Charlotte winning as well. So it's like, I'm torn. Because like the WWE has planted a seed in most people's head that Charlotte's winning. It's death, taxes, and Charlotte Flair winning a women's title, world title, after she comes back from injury. She just gets inserted into these cards and she gets a match and she wins the title. However, I think WWE is purposely doing that to make it seem like Tiffany has no chance. And that way, when Tiffany does win, she is my winner that I chose, which I could see going either way, but I think I'm going to go with Tiffany because everyone else pretty much thinks that Tiffany is going to lose. So therefore, I'm going to think Tiffany is going to win. I think this is going to unlock something in Charlotte and she's going to go crazy. I think there will be a rematch, or Charlotte's going to have to find herself and try to figure out something else. There might be, at Backlash, there could be like an Extreme Rules match or something, and Charlotte just goes off on Tiffany and then just ends her and wins the title there. But I think for sake of this card, the way the cards worked out, I feel like there's going to be a lot more heels or tweeners winning than just pure faces. And Tiffany right now is a face, but she works better as a heel. But it's just with Charlotte, she kind of had to be the face. And people do like her, and I do too. So I'm going to go with Tiffany Stratton. Next up, we have the main event of night one. We have a Roman Reigns, acknowledge him, CM Punk with Paul Heyman versus Seth Rollins. I've been pretty positive about the outcome of this match for a couple weeks now. I know Roman's not winning. Like, it just makes little logical sense for Roman to win. CM Punk, maybe like 35% CM Punk's going to win. Well, we're not going to say 0% from him. We'll give Roman 1%, CM Punk 34%, and Seth Rollins a 65% chance to win. It's not those numbers, but I'm just fudging them. But Seth Rollins is going to win. Because WWE thinks they're so sly that they're hiding it too well. Oh, Heyman's going to be with Punk or Roman in the match. No, he's going to end up siding with Seth. And I've seen this a lot online. And I thought this before I even saw anything online. Seth is going to walk out with Paul Heyman because it gives everyone a breath of fresh air. And I just would love to see the dynamic between Seth and Paul. Seth is a great promo guy already, but like, Paul could even help him even more. And I'm sure Paul's already talked to him, like, behind the scenes on how to improve and everything like that. But I truly think, I really do, Seth Rollins is winning night one main event and walking out with Paul Heyman. And we're going to see where this brings us. I definitely want to see a powerbomb between Roman and Seth to Punk through the table. That would be great. And then the table won't break, of course. But there'll be a lot of moments that it'll be a very fun match. And this is the only way to have more consequences later in the future for Seth Rollins to win, and it makes the most logical sense in my head. All right, let's get on the night two now. We have Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. That should be the opening night two match, and that's what I've read. And I'm going to go with Bianca here. For one, she's got her undefeated streak. Don't worry, I would love if Io Sky won. I don't want Rhea to win. It's not that I dislike Rhea. I really, really do like Rhea. But she's had the title a lot. She had the title from January to March, 2 years, and then she had it for over a year from 39 to 40, and then like another week after until she got hurt. She doesn't need the title right now. She needs to rework her character a little bit, and it could make her go to a heel again. I think Rhea being a heel and being the Eradicator again, not mom. She can occasionally call herself mommy and stuff, but she's not. It doesn't make much logical sense for her to do that because she's not with Dom anymore. She should be the Eradicator, and she should go back to just a destruction of a heel. And yes, people love her. She's a good babyface. And Bianca's kind of a tweener here, and Io's definitely the face. So you have a tweener, and Rhea's kind of a tweener too. People were going to cheer for her. There's going to be some great spots in here. And I would love, if Io wins this match, it's got to be like Rhea does an Eradicator or KOD, or Bianca's as a KOD. Yeah, I think it's KOD. And then Io does a moonsault, and then that's how she wins the match. But I do think Bianca is going to pin Rhea. And then that way they might have a match at Backlash, and then it's done, and then Bianca will go on to... It all depends how the draft works out, too. But Bianca's not going to lose her winning streak. I see a big Bianca-Jade match for SummerSlam coming up. And yeah, let's move on. Next up, we have a Sin City street fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Drew's got to win here, plain and simple. Drew, this is culminating an entire year's worth of story for Drew McIntyre. I was kind of very lukewarm on this feud right away. And then I was like, wait, these are two good workers. There's past between them, when Drew was helping him in the Judgment Day at War Games 2023. Then Damian cashed in on Drew, and then Drew couldn't win in Scotland. So Drew wants to destroy Damian Priest. Now, Damian Priest is a guy who's not just going to fold over. He's going to put up a fight. He's probably going to hit his South of Heaven. But maybe Drew rolls out of the ring. That way he doesn't have to kick out. And then Drew might take multiple Claymores to end Damian Priest. But Drew McIntyre is going to win this match. Now let's talk about Randy Orton versus a mystery opponent. Clearly, they're not going to leave Randy Orton off the WrestleMania card. Night 1 already has 7 matches. Night 2 has 6. Therefore, Randy Orton needs an opponent. And as much as I would love to see Aleister Black, Rusev, etc. face Randy Orton, I think it needs to be Nick Aldis. The reason why I think it needs to be Nick Aldis is because Nick Aldis can take a pin right now, and Randy was more than likely was going to beat Kevin Owens before Kevin Owens got hurt, and I really, really hope he can eventually wrestle again, even if it's a year and a half. I don't know, but I'm praying for Kevin, and I hope he can wrestle again. But Randy needs a win as well. He hasn't really won any big matches since he returned at Survivor Series 2023. So I think Randy needs this, and this would be a great way to introduce Nick Aldis, the wrestler. He was Magnus in TNA. It would be a great way for him to just showcase just a nice 10-minute match. It'd be perfect, and I think it would be great. Randy Orton's going to win. Next up, this is one of the matches I'm looking forward to the most. I think is going to tear the house down in the Fatal 4-Way Intercontinental Championship between Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, and Penta. And I only see 2 potential winners. Braun is not going to get pinned for sure. He's not going to win. Finn is more than likely going to eat the pin regardless of what happens. So the 2 winners I am thinking in my head are Dom Mysterio or Penta. And I actually went with Dom Mysterio because I've had this idea for weeks now. This is before this match even was announced. I think it's been two weeks since it's been announced. Like a month prior, I was talking to friends like, Dirty Dom's going to pin Finn Balor. They're going to do some sort of multi-man match for the IC title at Mania, and Dom's going to pin Finn. Maybe Finn hits coup de grace on Braun Breaker or Penta, and then Dom's in the other corner, frog splashes him, 1, 2, 3, pins Finn Balor to become the new Intercontinental Champion. And Dom deserves a title on the main roster. Yes, he was North American Champion a year or 2 ago, but I think it just makes more sense for him to finally get a singles title on the main roster. Yes, he was tag team champions with his his deadbeat dad in Rey Mysterio. I don't actually believe that, obviously, storyline. But yeah, Dom's going to win this match, and this is going to signal the end of this sort of Judgment Day, and I think there's going to be a new member. I just have a feeling. I don't know who it's going to be. Aleister Black kind of makes sense, but I also want Aleister Black to just do his own thing. I don't think he needs to be part of a stable or a faction right away. I want Black to do his own thing, but I don't know what member they're going to get. If they get a new member, we'll see what happens, but Dom's going to win the match. Next up, we have AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I think Logan Paul is going to win this match. I mean, AJ's at the point of his career where, yeah, sure, it'd be great for him to win a WrestleMania match, but he's won plenty of WrestleMania matches. He doesn't necessarily need to win. And like Logan, everyone already hates Logan. And I don't know, this is going to be a good match. It definitely is going to be like Obviously, Logan Paul's more athletic than LA Knight in certain aspects. So it's going to be a very intriguing matchup. Obviously, Logan Paul's going to win. I don't know how. He's going to do some dirty, cheap tactic to win like he normally does. I'm not a big Logan Paul fan. He's a great wrestler, and I love AJ Styles, but AJ is kind of at the point where, Logan Paul, he'll put over Logan Paul. Logan Paul's going to win this match. The penultimate match of WrestleMania weekend, we have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending their women's tag team championships versus a makeshift team in Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Well, Raquel and Liv are not losing the titles. They're for sure going to win. I could see, depending on where they place this in the card, if it's like earlier in the night, like the second match or the third match, it would probably be the third match or maybe somewhere in the middle. Because not the penultimate necessarily, but if they do it earlier in the show, not right before the main event, I could see Bayley turning on Lyra to set up an actual feud between them, because they were kind of, hunky-dory, just chum-chum. Bayley beat Lyra for Elimination Chamber qualify. Lyra defended her women's IC title against Bayley. So they're 1-1 right now, so they could have a nice feud where Bayley's finally a heel again after a year and a half or so. Well, no, not a year and a half, but it's like since early last year. And then Lyra, it really gives her championship credibility. And if Bayley ends up walking away the IC championship in a month or two, that's fine by me too. I mean, I think we just need to, Chelsea's doing a great job, but she needs more time, more feuds for the U.S. Women's Championship too. So I just think this does well for the story and for IC Championship in the future. Last but not least, we have the main event of WrestleMania 41. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the undisputed WWE Championship. And as I alluded to earlier during the Jey Uso match, John Cena is going to win this match. And there's a few reasons why I think that. My gut just says we're going to get a swerve that not a whole lot of people are expecting. Jey Uso was friends and tag team champions with Cody Rhodes when he went to SmackDown in September 2023. He was all buddy-buddy. And remember, there's a third person probably that's involved with The Rock and John Cena. Now, we don't know who that is. People are saying it's Travis Scott. No, it's not. He's not a wrestler. Honestly, and this is going to sound insane, but it's going to be a great match between Cody and John. And I would not be mad at Cody. I want to say this. I want to preface this. I would not be mad if Cody Rhodes wins. A lot of people are like, oh, Cody's reign needs to end. And I agree to some degree. And there's two ways this can happen. If Cody wins, John Cena is going to downward spiral even more and go even more psychotic, which could be interesting. And then he's got to work his way out of the psychotic state and work his way back up to be a babyface. And then I could see him winning his 17th World Championship as his last match ever. However, I think it's more intriguing for not only John Cena, but for Jey Uso to turn heel. Like, The Rock, Stone Cold are going to come out, glasses are going to shatter, you're going to think Cody's going to win, and then Jey Uso's somehow going to be involved. I don't know how. He might just randomly show up, but, and it's weird. There's parallels to this. Think back to like 24, 25 years ago. Who's Jey Uso's dad? Rikishi. Rikishi did it for The Rock. Maybe his son is also going to do it for The Rock. And also, I think if Jey Uso turns heel and aligns himself with John Cena and The Rock, this helps the World Heavyweight Championship mean more as well. It's not just going to be some secondary prize like everyone else thinks. This really helps Jey Uso's run, and I think it opens up so many more possibilities, because right now it feels like WWE has more baby faces, because like Seth Rollins is a tweener. We don't know what he's going to do with Paul Heyman. CM Punk is definitely a face. Roman's not going to be around probably till SummerSlam area, maybe a couple weeks before, depending on if he's going to wrestle this year at SummerSlam. And like, we have LA Knight, who's a face. We have AJ Styles. Braun Breaker's going to be that next big face for the company. People are already cheering him, and like, we already have a lot of good faces. And if Jey Uso turns, it's very similar to when The Rock turned in 1998. He was so over with the crowd, and then boom, he wins the world title. He aligns himself with Vince McMahon, and it'd just be like Jey Uso aligning himself, being the third man and aligning himself with John Cena and The Rock. There you have it, folks. My WrestleMania 41 super objective predictions. Let me know what your predictions are down in the comments. Make sure you subscribe and like the video. We'll be doing more wrestling content as we progress. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.